Триває 132-й день українського.
It's 132nd day of the Ukrainian resistance. This is Ukraine Media Center. I am Vasilina Samokhvalov. We started the next briefing, and we're going to talk about industrial parks, why the country needs them, why Lviv needs them, and why do we need them right now. We had to talk about it with Andriy Moskalenko, Deputy Mayor Lviv, and Andriy Pavliv, Head of the Department for Investment and Projects of the Lviv Municipal Council, but we'll talk to them and the people they've brought with them. And Andriy has a good explanation for all of it. So, Andriy, tell us, what are industrial parks and why do we need them right now? Dear colleagues, good day, everyone. We have a very important topic to discuss today, and together with the heads of the fractions of Lviv Municipal Council, the colleagues from the investment department, we are to present an initiative which is important to create jobs, to bring in tax revenues to the budget. This is the first municipal industrial park in Lviv. Two have already been registered, one working within the industrial area of 90 hectares. It's Parov Park. It's located in Resna 2, and it's called Dragon Capital Industrial Park. Under the current laws, we are waiting to sign them in, and additional benefits are brought in for the industrial park, such as a profit tax holiday, which means that the tax can be reinvested. Also, the customs duty is lifted to bring in the equipment for the industrial park. And an important decision was made at the Lviv Municipal Council session just last week when it was decided that a municipal industrial park will be inaugurated, and it is development of Syhnivka district. It's an area of 90 hectares in total, and the municipal industrial park will span 15 hectares of that, and we are announcing a joint workshop with a number of technological companies to designate the right and the most public solution to find a managing company and to design the specification of what companies could be welcome there. The vision is as follows: that it will house high-tech companies creating added value with the research and development, intensive input, and this is a very important step for Lviv these days because right now we are working to consider 82 relocation application. We also have a high interest in acquisition of the landlords. Some companies are planning to stay on in Lviv, so they're willing to invest. And about 200 companies of 5 to 700 staff strong have relocated already or have decided to partially stay in Lviv for a certain time, and it is very important for us to keep the companies in the cities. So I'd like to give the floor to the heads of the fractions, owing to whose support this resolution was brought in, that have enabled the next steps to be the first city that will make use of the law and bring in the um, benefits. Now I'm giving the floor to the head of Solidarity fraction in the Lviv Council. Thank you. Good day. We have the same message. We, all the residents of Lviv city, are interested in bringing in capital, labor capital, financial capital. If this is an opportunity created by the government, we have to grab at it. We haven't seen the law signed in yet, as it takes some time. There could be some legal collision. There was a Yavoriv economic zone, and after 2 years working for it, I had to explain to our partners that this zone was closed prematurely. And I'm sure that this time the government will be consistent, and we, as the city of Lviv, will have good offers to our budget, to our foreign friends. We are not planning to spend the budgetary funds, but we are looking for reliable partners amongst the businesses relocating, amongst the local businesses. There are other lending opportunities that are now brought in by the government. And we made this resolution as a statement of intent, and we will then underpin it with more specific resolutions. But our intent is to make Lviv a reliable partner for those who choose to come in, do the honest work, and pay taxes to the national and local budget. That's all for me. Thank you. Good day to all participants of the briefing. In Lviv, we are bringing up the subject of industrial parks on yet another occasion. Lviv has an extended experience of bringing in the industrial parks. The experience started back in 2009, where the first laws were brought in that were reversed, but the Resner Park was the second park registered under the law, as the desire to have a lot of industrial areas in Lviv has been unchanging in Lviv. The importance cannot be overstated, as any company, manufacturing company, created added value. Coming into the city creates at least 5 or even 15 associate businesses. When we calculate the benefit, it's not only the company relocating to Lviv, but also the economic ties and economic opportunities it shall germinate. So now there's a lot of interest in relocating companies to Lviv for a short while or for a longer while. We need to have a clear message to the companies that we are prepared to adopt different models. We can offer land to bigger companies. We can offer existing brownfields to smaller companies. We are in a position to offer an industrial park that will be communally owned. We had been looking into this model in European countries, and it has earned a very good standing in Europe. We have looked at the experience of the neighboring countries, and the industrial parks in Poland, Katowice, and Czech have resulted from the cooperation between the communities, the national government, and the investors, the desire to bring in investments. So we have best experiences, we have the good practices to follow, and we have a desire which is now formulated by the municipal council and the executive structures of the municipality, and we hope that will bring development and businesses to Lviv. This is Yuri Martinyuk, the head of the Varta fraction in Lviv Council. Good day, colleagues. I support what my colleagues have already reported. For my behalf, I would like to say that now, at these challenging times, the government is offering us a complete toolkit to sustain the war effort, to win our independence, to support the army. And we need to make sure that the wartime economy is going strong. The Ukrainian economy is hard pressed in these times, and this instrument provided by the law on industrial parks will enable us to sustain our economy, bring in additional manufacturing capacities into the region and into the country. We have long been saying that we don't have the right to do volunteering only, but we have to make sure the economy stays afloat, that the economy of the country is resilient, And this is the why we need to work in a most concerted way, and we shall do so, making best use of the industrial park instruments, and I know we shall prevail and we shall succeed. Vitaly Trots, the head of the Holus fraction. Good day, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the Ukrainian army who've enabled us to be here and discuss the opening of the new front and discuss the economic front, which is just as important. So all the heads of the fractions have come in today to voice a public message of united support for the Ukrainian businesses to stay united on the economic front. We have to forget our party or regional attribution, any controversies we may have had before, to join the ranks to protect our country. And this is the key message we brought in here. We all share a strong belief. We have voted the first decision to allocate the first zone, which is costly for Lviv, it's 15 hectares, so that we could bring in the first companies to Lviv to enable their relocation. We have lifted the real tax on the investors building in the industrial parks. We're here to demonstrate our public support, and we urge the members of the public to bring their difficulties to us. We, as the municipal council and the executive government, will spare no effort to make it a success and uphold our economic front. Любомир Мельничук, the head of Svoboda fraction. Glory to Ukraine. Dear friends, I will stand by what my colleagues have reported in here. We were united on this matter in the Lviv Council, as we know that the development of business, the development of entrepreneurship is vital for us these days. Also, the city of Lviv has little manufacturing capacity left. The industrial production in the city is underdeveloped, and Lviv is losing out its stance as the industrial hub in the Western Ukraine. And the industrial parks are a new way to boost the industrial potential of the city, to facilitate production. It's a European approach, different from the Soviet model, which called for the placement of large manufacturing facilities that were fueling the plant economy, with the infrastructure building out around them, producing an incompetitive model for the industrial production. Uh, Unlike that model, we are adopting a European model to bring in active European businesses. Our colleagues will spell out what industrial parks shall mean, but in short, it is a hub bringing people together that want to manufacture. And the capacities can be put to much better use by all the businesses, and that also incorporates a logistical solution. So this is the best practices case developed in Europe and other countries, and we want to learn from those best practices and apply them in here. We have stood for this decision, and we know that the models can be successful and effective, provided it's honest. So we urge that all the businesses should have an equal footing, and Lviv should be an exemplary town in the way it's reviving its industrial potential and industrializing. And now I would like to bring in Andriy Pavliv, the head of the Department for Investment and Projects of the Municipal Council, for the presentation. Good day, glory to Ukraine. The importance of this decision is no longer disputed, and the municipal industrial park is major boost to the development of the industry in Lviv. And I will just give some insights into the development of the municipal industrial parks, the venues, and the next steps. Now we are talking about two industrial zones in Lviv, where investors are invited according to the project on the development of industrial zone. And now we are talking about the industrial area Syhnivka, which has already been created under the program for the development of industrial areas in 2018. Currently, it's 92 hectares of land with 6 landlords already sold and operational. There's Sparrow Park, industrial park that's registered and is going to be launched very soon. And this year we are beginning to build a Hirsche facility. There are 4 spare landlords, and one is designated for the municipal industrial park with an overall area of 15 hectares. This industrial area uh, has received 180 millions of investment and has brought in 280 million revenue from the sale of the landlords, and 6 investors are on the ground. 2 are in the stage of construction. It's important to discuss the municipal industrial park evolution. It will become a critical instrument which is required for the creation of the industrial park, and that is the designation of the concept of the industrial park that will set the framework for the business operation on the area. If the industrial park as an instrument can bring in a large number of businesses and investors, but the municipal industrial park as an instrument and the concept will help us transition from the quantitative domain to the qualitative dimension, as we won't be able to bring in and relocate all the businesses. So the concept um, provides uh, for the joint solution with the businesses, councillors, MPs, civil society, the relevant experts, and this concept will set the framework for the businesses and the targeted businesses we would like to attract. There are 2 paths to develop the industrial park. One is to auction the landlords, and when the landlord is auctioned, an investor comes in building his business. And the other solution is a municipal industrial park solution. And again, this is a concept setting the framework for the kind of businesses we would like to attract to the city. The impetus for the development of the industrial park is the relocation of businesses, as a lot of businesses had to relocate with the breakout of the full-scale war in Ukraine. But these businesses have not all been about manufacturing as such. And in the industrial park, we are planning to attract the critically important manufacturing facilities that can help fuel the city, fuel the future economy of Ukraine. These are high-tech production facilities that are operating in Lviv or Western Ukraine, and or planning to relocate here. So the next stage is to designate the concept of the industrial park. Following that, the industrial park will be registered with the Cabinet of Ministers. Following that, the documents will be drafted for the competition to designate a managing company, the contract drawn with the managing company between the initiator, the managing company, and then the attraction of the investors or residents to the industrial park. The procedure will take at least 6 months to designate a managing company, and from then on, the managing company will attract investors and residents to operate in the industrial park. So that's a short summary about the industrial park and what's happening in the industrial area Syhnivka. Um, this is the construction of one of the two industrial parks, and the construction of the second investor is to start soon, and this is the Hirsch company. Please raise your hand if you have any question. I have a straightforward question. What about the numbers? The money, the people, have you calculated the economic effect from the creation of the park? It is the concept to address this question. Yesterday, we had a meeting with the Ukrainian company from Dnipro, which has already designated such concept, and the right concept should address your question and not only contain a description of the vision, but also the arguments why these companies are invited and why they should form the hub of the farm and should be given preference as residents. And that should be underpinned with economic indicators. So the concept will be quite extensive. It's a separate project to answer the question. It will be the feasibility study of a kind for this industrial park with a specific pool of target companies. Supposing there's a company from Lysychansk wanting to relocate and become a resident of the park, what is the road that I have to walk to materialize my intentions? That will be clearer once the managing company is designated and once the concept is finalized. And I keep mentioning concept because it is an important milestone that will define all the ensuing development, the construction, the attraction of residents, and much else. So once the managing company is finalized and the managing company brings in their residents to the industrial park, the manufacturing facility, and that could also be a company from Lysychansk. And then the city, as the initiator, will have the instruments to have their say in what company is invited. The company has to file its application, draw the contract with the managing company, and then it can stay there on terms defined by the managing company. But the right concept will help us bring in the right pool of manufacturing facilities that are critically important to maintain our nation. And the question is about the timing. When is that going to happen? The first stage will take it until the end of the year, so roughly 6 months. I needed to draft the concept, register the park at the Cabinet of Ministers to run the competition, to select a managing company. In the best case scenario, that can happen by the end of the year. And then the managing company will bring in investors and residents and build out the industrial park. Depending on the funding, that should take a year's time. So that will be the end of the year 23. If no further questions, we shall conclude. Thank you. It's been a most interesting topic. We